DJ Storms! And I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is the Lightning Flash update for September 6th, 2019 on Friday, as per usual. I would like to thank each and every single one of you for tuning back into the channel as per usual. I started my junior fall semester at college. Needless to say, I wish I was back on summer break, and it's only been 2 days. Think about that. Taxation sucks. I just want to point that out there. I was taking a look at some of the assignments for my taxation class, and my God, is it unbearable. The work, my God. The work is just like Monday Night Raw. Overly convoluted and boring. So, you know, there's that. But I did have a good time. I met up with a lot of people that I missed over the course of the summer. You know, summer, as per usual, always goes too fast. And hopefully, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get all the content up for you guys that I want to throughout the course of these next few months. It is definitely going to be a project because I do have a lot of online homework. I do have a lot of material to grasp. I do have a lot of material to digest, obviously, and then I'm going to have to focus on the projects, focus on the midterms, focus on the exams, you know, the works when it comes to college. But, you know, I would appreciate if everyone just remained patient. I know a lot of people are patient with me, and a lot of people are very supportive of me, and I appreciate each and every single one of you being supportive of me. Also, we just peaked 1,400 subscribers, and that right there, I tweeted it on Tuesday. That's how I end my summer. I end my summer by peaking 1,400 subscribers. Next stop is 1,500. I'm hoping we could very well get to 2,000. Very well get to 2,000 by next summer. That is my goal. That is my goal. I peaked 1,000 before Money in the Bank. Let's try and see if we can peak 2,000 before next summer. Anyway, let's get into the weekly show reviews. Not that much news today. I'll go over it in the end, but I have a lot to say about the weekly shows. A lot of the weekly shows this week, outside of NXT and 205 Live, really disappointed. Even NXT UK was a bit lackluster, but for reasons not related to the main roster, which I will talk about. But Monday Night Raw, as per usual, didn't really do anything. Didn't do anything to excite, didn't do anything to entertain, outside of 2 matches. Outside of a match between Ricochet and Joe and Baron Corbin and Cedric, the 2 King of the Ring quarterfinal matches. The show was pretty much like it is every single week. A waste of time. Rollins and Strowman were going to sign the contract for their matchup at Clash of Champions. Rollins basically stated that he intended to slay a monster because he slayed Brock Lesnar, something that Braun Strowman could never do. Styles and the OC then came out. Styles asked why Braun Strowman is getting an opportunity. So Styles was pretty much asking the same question that a lot of people who knew how to use their brains correctly were asking not that long ago when Braun Strowman was gifted this opportunity. Styles was pretty much playing the role of the WWE Universe. And the WWE, they do this every time. They literally do this every fucking time. Styles' promo was literally copied and pasted from tweets on social media by the fans. That's what WWE does. They know what makes us tick. They know why we're asking these questions. They know that we are asking these questions. And they take one of the most popular superstars on the roster and they literally have them read a script of those tweets that the WWE Universe were sending, asking, why is Strowman getting an opportunity? Why don't wins and losses matter? You know, stuff like that. Now, Styles didn't actually say it in those words, but, you know, regardless, that's what Styles was implying. Pretty much doing a mock promo to make fun of their audience. Pretty much sticking up an even bigger middle finger to the audience than they already were. So they ripped up the contract. Styles ripped up the contract. And we had a big brawl between Rollins, Strowman, and the OC. Rollins and Strowman then defeated the OC. I wasn't even paying attention to the match. I had my head buried in my phone. Rude and Ziggler then attacked, as well as the OC. They attacked Strowman and Rollins after the match. Strowman actually ran over Rollins to build tension towards the match at Clash of Champions, and the heels stood tall in the end. And then in the back, the OC then attacked Cedric Alexander. By the way, WWE, I'm telling you right now, they are listening to me. WWE is listening to me. Someone from WWE is watching the LFU. Because I have been saying for 2 weeks now that Cedric Alexander is the perfect opponent for AJ Styles in the United States Championship. Now the OC attacked Cedric Alexander backstage. I don't want to stroke my own ego. I mean, well, that's exactly what I want to do because that's who I am. I'm DJ Storms. I always stroke my ego. But WWE is listening to me. Just want to point that out there. Rude and Ziggler then defeated Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. This match only went about 4 minutes. Kurt Hawkins was able to get the hot tag to Zack Ryder. He hit the drop kick off the middle rope. We had a double team move where Hawkins and Ryder hit a Samoan drop neck breaker combination. Rude and Ziggler ended up winning when Ziggler super kicked Hawkins, and then Rude hit the glorious DDT for the win. Lacey Evans and Natalya. Natalya actually attacked Lacey Evans before the match even began, and Lacey Evans still ended up coming out victorious in the end when she threw the hanky in Natalya's face and then connected with the woman's right. Why is Lacey Evans on television? I don't know. She is, without a doubt, on the same level as Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and the Iconics, and the Bellas. Lacey Evans is absolutely fucking useless. She, just like Alexa, just like the Iconics, just like Bobby Lashley, just like Nia Jax, they all went downhill as their time on the main roster went on. Now, a lot of it has to do with Lacey Evans' booking as well, because Lacey Evans was thrown into a title opportunity and a main event spot in the women's division in which she wasn't even ready for, because she did a fucking catwalk throughout the entirety of WrestleMania season instead of actually competing in a match and earning victories to make herself credible. You could thank WWE for that. Now Lacey Evans is just as worse as Alexa Bliss. We had a promo between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. This was an excellent promo. Becky called out Sasha Banks. She was talking about how Sasha Banks has been the centerpiece of NXT. She was in the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match. She was in the first ever women's main event on Raw for the Raw Women's Championship. Meanwhile, Becky had to scratch and claw her way to the top. And then Sasha ended up coming out, and Sasha said the only reason that Becky is in the position that she is in is because Nia Jax broke her face. Now, that was a very nice jab at Becky, even though Becky's popularity was already rising, whether Nia Jax broke her face or not, but that was a very nice jab at Becky. Sasha then challenged Becky for Clash of Champions and ended the promo with, the man at Clash of Champions is going to become the boss's bitch. This was a great promo. I absolutely love the back and forth between Becky and Sasha, and I think if they really let these women go at Clash of Champions, that could very well turn out to be the best match on the entire card. No question. Baron Corbin and Cedric Alexander. This match was great. I could have watched these guys go for the entirety of Monday Night Raw, and this is what I keep on saying. I keep on saying that Baron Corbin's character is fucking terrible. That's why Baron Corbin is in such a shitty position right now, but when you put him in the ring with someone who can work, Baron Corbin is going to deliver. Baron Corbin's going to give you a great match. Corbin's a great wrestler, but due to booking and shitty character portrayal, WWE fucked them up, just like they fucked up almost everyone that came from NXT outside of a handful of people. But this was a great match. I didn't even mind that Baron Corbin advanced, but at the same point in time, it's questionable. And I'm going to talk about that when I get to the King of the Ring matches on SmackDown Live. But this was a great match. Cedric Alexander went full throttle against Baron Corbin. We had Cedric doing the Tope Con Hero over the top. We had the Neuralizer. There was a spot where Baron Corbin caught Cedric out of a slingshot because Cedric likes to use a slingshot flatliner off of the apron. Corbin caught him in a deep six, and I had flashbacks of when Corbin caught Kalisto in a deep six when Kalisto dove through the ropes back at TLC of 2016. Cedric was able to fire back. He kicked out. He drove Baron Corbin's shoulder into the post about 4 times. Corbin was on the receiving end of a Meishinuku driver. Corbin was able to kick out. Corbin tripped up Cedric as Cedric was going for a springboard clothesline. Corbin then hit the end of days. Corbin is moving on to the semi-finals. Great match. The winner's a bit questionable, but it was a great match nonetheless. I have nothing but praise for Baron Corbin and Cedric Alexander. This was Baron Corbin's best match, probably since Clash of Champions 2017, when he had that triple threat match with Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. That was a great fucking match. Next week, apparently, Stone Cold is moderating the Universal title contract signing with Rollins and Strowman. Why is this happening? Same reason why The Undertaker is appearing at SmackDown Live next week in MSG. Ratings. And you know why? You know why? Because the shows weren't selling good. Ticket sales were shit. And WWE is no one to blame but themselves. So what do? They call upon the legends who they think that can draw, and boom, they put them on the shows just to generate some ticket sales. What else is new? The Viking Raiders are still facing jobbers. Yes, it is 6 months down the line, and the Viking Raiders are still facing jobbers. The Viking Raiders defeated a couple of jobbers once again. The Viking Raiders remain undefeated, but yet not one tag team title opportunity in sight. Not one. The Viking Raiders have been undefeated since April. But yet, Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, who have been portrayed like complete losers for God knows how long now, were thrown randomly together, and now they're getting a tag team title opportunity at Clash of Champions, all because they want to try and keep them happy so they don't ask for their releases and go to All Elite Wrestling. It's fucking ridiculous. It really is fucking ridiculous. I don't know how anyone can sit here and say that this is enjoyable, watching the Viking Raiders squash jobbers every fucking week. It's ridiculous. Ricochet and Joe. This was actually turning into a good match. Ricochet was on the receiving end of a lot of heavy offense by Joe. I believe there was a point where Joe actually drove Ricochet into the barricade. I believe he Uranagi'd him out of the corner. Ricochet was able to fire back. I love the step-up backflip that Ricochet does off of his opponent into the enziguri. I love that move. That's a great fucking move right there. Ricochet was able to do a cartwheel backflip plancha over the top rope, taking out Joe. Ricochet then went up to the top. Samoa Joe was caught in the coquina clutch, or he caught Ricochet in the coquina clutch. Ricochet then was able to elbow Joe. He tripped back. Both men crashed to the canvas. Both men had an arm draped over each other. 1, 2, 3. It ended in a draw. And next week, it's now apparently a triple threat match between Ricochet, Joe, and Corbin. This was completely unnecessary. I don't know why they went forth with this. It makes absolutely no sense of why you would put Joe and Ricochet in a situation where now they're in a triple threat match in the semifinals. When realistically, Baron Corbin, even though I don't like Baron Corbin, I'm the furthest thing from a Baron Corbin superfan. Now Baron Corbin is in the finals. Baron Corbin would have been in the finals anyway if Ricochet and Joe both eliminated themselves. There was no winner. But apparently now they're doing a triple threat match. They're bringing their classic, overly convoluted WWE booking into something so simple as a tournament. And I heard that the only reason why this was even planned via Dave Meltzer is because they wanted to get Ricochet in a big match in MSG. You're telling me that a semi-final King of the Ring match with Baron Corbin, even though it's with Baron Corbin, you're telling me a semi-final King of the Ring match is not a big match? You have to make it a triple threat? That's just fucking inexcusable. That's inexcusable. The Miz then defeated Cesaro. So let me get this straight. Cesaro makes the trip to Cardiff, Wales for NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff. He gives you a great match with Ilya Dragunov. He brings Ilya Dragunov to his best match in NXT to date, and this is how you repay him. It's like WWE punished Cesaro for being Cesaro. What is The Miz going to do with this victory? Nothing. The Miz and his character has been dead since the Shane McMahon feud because WWE booked Shane McMahon to beat Miz not once, not twice, but 3 fucking times. It's ridiculous. The Miz is going to do nothing with this win. Cesaro continues to be mistreated. If this is how you're going to treat Cesaro on Monday Night Raw, give him the Triple H. Give him the Triple H, have him work NXT UK full-time, and put him in the ring with Walter for the United Kingdom Championship. If this is how you're going to treat him on Raw. Ilya Dragunov's best match to date, and I'm going to continue to say this, a relatively unknown Russian wrestler to the majority of the WWE audience. The majority of the WWE audience does not know who Ilya Dragunov is after the match that Cesaro brought Ilya Dragunov to. How could you not want to push Cesaro? How could you not want to have Cesaro in something vital on the main roster? Oh, but Vince says Cesaro doesn't connect. Cesaro doesn't connect, right? That's why he just put on a 4-star matchup with a relatively unknown Russian wrestler to a chant of, "Are you watching? Are you watching? Are you watching Vince McMahon?" Unreal. I don't even want to continue with the rest of the show. I really don't. Moving on, we had the Champions Showcase. Champions Showcase between Becky, Bayley, and Alexa and Nikki. This ended with Sasha Banks attacking Becky Lynch. And apparently, Bayley, or so we thought, Bayley turned heel. Bayley took the chair that Sasha was going to beat down Becky with, and Bayley started beating down Becky with the chair herself. Now, originally, I saw this as a full-blown heel turn, but WWE confused the shit out of me during the beginning segments of SmackDown Live. And I'll explain to you what I mean by that. SmackDown Live kicked off with Bayley saying that Sasha is her best friend and she's trying to show the kids what it means to be loyal. No matter what has happened in the past, no matter what position Sasha Banks may be in right now, Sasha is my best friend, and best friends remain loyal to one another. Charlotte then came out and was trying to get in the face of Bayley saying, "Hey, at least I'm honest with people." And then Sasha came out. Charlotte then attacked Bayley, and Bayley and Sasha beat down Charlotte with a steel chair. And that was the beginning segments of SmackDown Live. I truthfully don't know what they're doing. I really don't know what they're doing. This was extremely confusing in more ways than one. First off, the heel turn itself, if this is a heel turn, it didn't make sense because Charlotte is a heel going up against Bayley, who just turned quote-unquote heel for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. It's heel versus heel. Now, I understand that Bayley as a babyface right now may have been getting a little stale, but right now wasn't the proper time to turn Bayley heel. Unless they want to go for a Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa-like storyline where Bayley is going to realize that she's being manipulated by Sasha, and this could result in a matchup down the line. And I do have news. On a potential Bayley and Sasha match down the line, but if they are to have a match with this Gargano-Ciampa storyline developing, then more likely than not, it should take place at WrestleMania 36. But based off of the promo on SmackDown Live, I don't even think WWE has any solid plans for this storyline between Bayley and Sasha, with a supposed heel turn for Bayley. The vibe that this segment was giving off was on the fly. Improvisation. It's like they didn't have any plans going into it. And I can't help but feel as though WWE mainly turned Bayley heel only to get people talking. Why? Because outside of Walter and Tyler Bate from NXT TakeOver Cardiff, All Out and All Elite Wrestling has been the talk of the entire Labor Day weekend. With Jericho winning the title, with the Escalera de la Muerte, Pac beating Omega, LAX debuting. The wrestling community was universally talking about All Elite Wrestling. And WWE thought, hey, you know what? Bayley's never been heel before. Why don't we turn Bayley heel? Get some buzz. And that's exactly what happened. The crowd ate it up. I can't help but feel that WWE only did this to generate attention for themselves, to take some away from AEW. Hey, one of our most beloved baby faces that's never been heel before just turned heel. And everyone ate it up. The crowd was going fucking crazy for it. People were talking about it for the next 24 hours up until SmackDown Live. And based off of the promo on SmackDown Live, I really don't think WWE has any solid plans to keep Bayley heel or, progress a storyline with Bayley and Sasha, with Bayley being manipulated by Sasha. It doesn't make sense. The heel turn right now does not make sense. If she wanted to turn heel after she lost the title to Charlotte, then maybe I would have understood that. But it really does not make any sense. It really doesn't. Elias versus Ali in the King of the Ring quarterfinals. This I had the same thoughts about as the Baron Corbin-Cedric Alexander match. This was a good match. It was very good. It just goes to show you how good Ali really is. Ali was on the receiving end of a lot of offense in the beginning. He took a huge suplex on the steel ramp. He was on the receiving end of a electric chair powerbomb from Elias. Ali did a backflip off of the top rope to the outside. Elias went for an axe handle, and Ali caught him with a super kick. Ali threw him back in the ring, and Ali was going for the 450. Elias moved, and Elias hit Ali with drift away, and Elias is going to the semifinals. This, along with Brock Lesnar winning at Money in the Bank, this was one of the worst decisions that WWE has made all year. I don't understand. I really don't understand how you have... Just visualize this. You have superstars like Buddy Murphy, Ali, Andrade, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cedric Alexander, Cesaro, and Drew McIntyre in this tournament. But yet Baron Corbin and Elias are in the semifinals. How fucked up is that? What the fuck does WWE see in Elias? What value does Elias have in this King of the Ring tournament? What value does Elias have, period? Elias has gone downhill. Elias has been dead for the last year and 3 months. Elias's final opportunity, the last opportunity that WWE had to push Elias as a star, was back in June of 2018 during that matchup with Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title at Money in the Bank. That was the last opportunity that the WWE had to push Elias as a legitimate star. And they didn't do it for whatever reason. What happened then? They didn't do anything with Elias. All they did was have Elias come out, do the same shit over and over again with his guitar, have someone interrupt him, lead to a feud, and Elias himself has gone downhill in the ring. There is nothing special about Elias anymore. Elias is in the same boat as Braun Strowman. Dead. Useless and valueless. I don't care if you're a fan of Elias. I don't care if you think Elias is hot. I don't care if you think Elias is funny or entertaining. Elias has no value. He has no value. The fact that Elias is in the semifinals, the fact that he's beaten Kevin Owens, Ali, and potentially could beat Chad Gable is fucking pathetic. It's fucking pathetic. Ali, Gable, and Kevin Owens. Not even 1,000 Eliases will equal one Kevin Owens, or one Ali, or one Chad Gable. It's unreal. What a stupid fucking decision. Aleister Black was in the back in his boiler room area, and he decided to go to the ring and see if anyone wanted to pick a fight with him. Fire and Desire defeated Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. What a shocker. Champions lose on television. Now, Fire and Desire are more likely than not going to get a matchup at Clash of Champions, for the women's tag team titles. What else is new? I swear to God, I am getting sick and fucking tired of seeing champions lose, no matter how bad Bliss and Cross are. I'm getting sick and tired of seeing them lose every week. It's a pain in the ass. It really is a pain in the ass, and it just gets under my skin. Shit like that just gets under my skin. I don't mind champions losing, but WWE does it every fucking week. I've used the example of Velveteen Dream. How Velveteen Dream didn't lose all year as North American champion up until that one episode where Roderick Strong pinned him. That felt special because Velveteen Dream had built himself up to a point where he had a sense of legitimacy and he was on an undefeated streak. He wasn't pinned all year up until that one day at NXT. But WWE, no. They make champions feel like everyone else and they diminish the value and the legitimacy of the titles themselves. What else is new? We had a segment where Randy Orton was addressing the WWE Universe. He called out Kofi Kingston. The Revival were attacking Kofi as Kofi was trying to make his entrance. And what I loved, here's what I loved. What I loved about this segment was after the Revival took out Kofi, Randy took the microphone and he said stupid and stomped on Kofi's leg. Then he said stupid and stomped on Kofi's other leg. Every single time he said stupid, he stomped on Kofi Kingston. I fucking love heel Orton. That was a nice touch there. Then we had a super RKO and the Revival and Orton stand tall. More likely than not, we could very well see the Revival and Randy Orton walk out with gold at Clash of Champions. Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan was set for Clash of Champions, and I will talk about that later on. But right now, let's get through SmackDown Live, and then I'll talk about Rowan and Roman in the main event segment. Chad Gable and Andrade. I do appreciate that they're at least putting Chad Gable in a scenario where he's getting over. I have to give WWE credit for this. They have been booking Chad Gable in this tournament very well. This match was very good. Chad Gable was in the role of Johnny Gargano in this one. The crowd was chanting Gable. The crowd was going crazy for Gable. We had Andrade trying to wear down Chad Gable. Chad Gable was able to fire back. We had Chad Gable hit some German suplexes on Andrade. Andrade was able to fire back. He went for the fake out moonsault. Gable got the knees up. Gable hit a beautiful moonsault of his own. Chad Gable has a very nice moonsault. Chad Gable was able to get a 2 count on Andrade there. Chad Gable was going for a what was he going for? I think he was going for his finishing move. I think he was going for like an Olympian slam. No, he was going for the O'Connor roll German suplex. Andrade was hit with the O'Connor roll German suplex, but the ref didn't see. Zelina Vega was distracting the ref. Andrade, he went for the hammerlock DDT. Chad Gable, though, was able to roll him up, and Chad Gable defeats Andrade in a very good match. Chad Gable is moving on to the semifinals, and if I'm going to be quite honest with you, I really hope Chad Gable makes the finals. I really cannot stand Elias. If Elias makes the finals, I swear, this tournament is an absolute fucking joke. Ricochet and Gable are the top two contenders right now. Hell, you can even include Joe. Ricochet, Joe, and Gable are the top three contenders right now to win King of the Ring. It cannot be Corbin, and it cannot be Elias. End of story. I will not stress that enough. In the back, well, actually, no, before we had more of this 24/7 title bullshit. Oh, by the way, it's fucking terrible. Still, it's fucking terrible. Aleister Black defeated Shelton Benjamin. Nice to see Aleister Black is gaining some momentum and gaining some wins behind them. Hopefully we get to see Aleister Black versus a potential Buddy Murphy for the Intercontinental title down the line. Bo Dallas won the 24/7 title from Drake Maverick. And then it actually continued out in the arena. Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura addressed the crowd. And then afterwards, Shinsuke defeated a jobber, with Sami playing the role of Leo Rush and just commentating on every move that Shinsuke was doing. I'm telling you right now, the fact that they are pairing Sami with Nakamura, I want to get behind it, but it's just so unnecessary. And on top of that, they're having Nakamura go up against The Miz at Clash of Champions. More likely than not, The Miz is going to beat Shinsuke. Why? Because WWE is petty as fuck, and more likely than not, they want to erase Chris Jericho from the history books, because now Chris Jericho is the All Elite Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. I really don't know what else to tell you. Matter of fact, if The Miz does not walk out of Clash of Champions with the Intercontinental title, I would be shocked. I would legitimately be shocked. Maverick then won back the title from Bo Dallas. Afterwards, the 24/7 title chase spilled into the ring, and then Truth won the title back as he dressed up in the crown and king robe on stage after Maverick just won the title. And that was pretty much that. I am not going to stress this enough. This 24/7 title needs to fucking die. It needs to die by the time SmackDown Live hits Fox. If this 24/7 title concept is not dead, I swear to God, if I were Fox, I would cancel the deal. I don't understand how people can be okay with this. If you enjoy the title, fine, but don't try and make it as if it's one of the best things about WWE, because it's not. This title is nothing more than a 20-year-old rehashed gimmick. It is a 20-year-old rehashed version of the hardcore title. It's not entertaining whatsoever. The only person that is actually making the best of this is R-Truth. And that doesn't have to do with the concept. That doesn't have to do with the title. That just has to do with the fact that R-Truth is just a naturally funny guy. But he can get serious when he needs to. He's a legitimate in-ring performer. He's a legitimate athlete that can give you a great match. But this 24/7 title shit is fucking terrible. It's terrible. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. It's taking time away from shit that should actually be focused on. We had the 24/7 title take up 7 minutes with Elias, Kevin Owens, and then Maverick winning the title last week on SmackDown. 7 minutes that could have been given to the match between Gable and Benjamin, which only lasted 5 minutes. The title is not doing anything to elevate anyone. It's not doing anything to entertain anyone. It's not entertaining. If you find that entertaining, your standards are incredibly low. If you enjoy it, fine. But just know, if you're okay with that, then you're okay with shit. You're okay with trash. And this is why I hate the people of the world today. And it doesn't just have to do with the wrestling community. It has to do with the fact that the people of the world today Everyone across the globe, the majority of people in today's world have grown lazy and complacent, and they accept mediocrity and deem it acceptable. They deem mediocrity as good. What type of fucking mentality is that? Why are you going to lower your standards because you're too lazy and complacent to actually fight for better? Why are you going to lower your standards and say something is good when it's clearly not? Why are you going to go forth and say that this is making the entire show better when in reality, it's not? When in reality, it is taking away from shit that should be focused on. Shit like building up legitimate contenders for a championship instead of having a challenger who's been dead for months like The Miz challenge Shinsuke Nakamura out of nowhere after he just lost the King of the Ring match to Baron Corbin. Shit that should be focused on like legitimate tag team wrestling. Shit that should be focused on like building up credible contenders for the World Championship outside of Braun Strowman. Beating a jobber at Raw Reunion and then coming out and saving Rollins from the OC? What the fuck is the mentality of this company, and what the fuck is the mentality of the people watching this company? There are very few people like me who have actual standards and know how to use their fucking brains that God has given them. You people need to learn how to be more like me. I'm not trying to stroke my own ego. Well, I am, but I'm not. I am, but I'm not. But you people need to start gaining some fucking standards and start gaining some fucking intelligence. The title is shit. The title's shit. The concept is shit. It's not doing anything to elevate anyone. It is not comedy and wrestling done right. If I want comedy and wrestling done right, and I know what comedy is, I look towards someone like Orange Cassidy. I look towards someone like Otis. I look towards someone like R-Truth. Not the title, R-Truth. R-Truth is just that good at what he does that he is making the segments entertaining. Other than R-Truth, it's terrible. The concept is not good. And I swear to God, I hope Fox puts down an ultimatum to cancel the title before we hit USA. Not USA, Fox. Before we hit the ground running on October 4th, with SmackDown Live on Fridays on Fox Sports, I hope Fox puts down an ultimatum to cancel the title. Bryan then came out in the main event. I wasted like 10 minutes ranting on that. Bryan came out and he demanded an apology from Roman. Rowan, out of nowhere, came out and attacked Roman Reigns. Rowan said that he is nobody's puppet and nobody tells him what to do. He said that he's proud of what he did at the SmackDown Live episode a month ago, and he was proud at what he did to Roman Reigns in the parking lot, nearly running him over with his car. And he's going to do the same at Clash of Champions. He actually claw slammed Bryan through the table. I honestly do not get why they went this route. Sean Ross Sapp even tweeted something along the lines of, "This angle was stupid." Sean, you are undoubtedly correct. You are undoubtedly correct, good sir. WWE actually had something interesting on their hands, and they went forth with Eric Rowan. What does this mean? Is Daniel Bryan going to be babyface? Is Eric Rowan going to get a singles push? And if so, why all of a sudden now are they getting behind Eric Rowan as a singles guy? What does this mean for Roman and Eric Rowan when they get the matchup at Clash Champions? Who's going to win and where are they going to go? Is this going to extend multiple pay-per-views? I really don't know what's going on over here. And out of everyone, Rowan? That's not a knock at Rowan. What he's been doing with Daniel Bryan has been fantastic, but you really couldn't have thought of anyone else? You couldn't have brought someone up from NXT? You really couldn't have gone that route? You couldn't have gone Aleister Black? You couldn't have gone Daniel Bryan? Daniel Bryan would have been much better. You couldn't have gone with someone like Lars Sullivan? You couldn't have gone with him? You couldn't have gone with a returning superstar? Who's out with injury, right? You couldn't have gone with Luke Harper? Why Eric Rowan? I feel as though WWE just came up with this and was just booking this entire angle on the fly. I'm getting almost the same vibe as the Bayley heel turn. It was done on the fly without any plans. But this was not done because of AEW. The vibe that this was giving off was the fact that WWE is running out of ideas to keep Roman Reigns out of the main event title scene, because they know that if they do insert him back into the main event title scene, that the crowd is going to start booing him again. And of course, WWE does not want that. I appreciate that he's staying out of the main event scene, as he should. There's no reason for him to be in the main event scene. He was never ready for the main event scene. But Eric Rowan? Eric Rowan. You couldn't have thought of something better? You couldn't have thought of something more creative? How many creative writers do you have? 30? But yet you can't come up. You can't choose. And I'm talking to Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon cannot choose a better opponent and a better suspect and a better reveal for Roman Reigns than Rowan. I don't understand. I appreciate that they're trying to keep him out of the main event scene, as he should stay out of the main event scene. And I will say, I can't even believe I'm saying this, outside of that 2012 to 2014 period, outside of the original Shield run, this has been the best that Roman Reigns has been booked. Because he's not in the main event scene, he's not being forced into a position where the crowd doesn't want him in. He's just floating around in the mid-card, feuding with other people, outside of a title picture, of any sort. I appreciate that. I would prefer him as a heel. He would be much better as a heel. But why Eric? Why Eric Rowan? Again, Eric Rowan didn't even state why he did it. All he said was he was proud of it. Why did you do it? And why should we care about this matchup at Clash of Champions? No sense. 0 sense whatsoever. I don't even know where this shit's leading. I really don't. .205 Live, on the other hand, was great. If you had not watched 205 Live, go out of your way and watch it. We had 2 very good matches on 205 Live. 205 Live kicked off with Mike Kanellis versus Tony Nese. This was a very good match. So much so that they actually got a 205 chant going. And a This Is Awesome chant going. That just goes to show you how good Tony Nese is. And I feel as though this could have very well been Mike Kanellis' best match. This match really put Mike Kanellis on the map. And if they want to push Mike Kanellis into a cruiserweight title opportunity, maybe in a fatal 4-way or a triple threat, I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. The ending to the show was actually quite interesting, and I'll talk about that later on, but this was a very good match. Mike Kanellis draped Tony Nese over the barricade. We had Mike Kanellis running the apron and doing a single leg drop kick right to the face of Tony Nese off the barricade. Back in the ring, the two were trading strikes. We had a lot of kicks and a lot of forearm strikes being thrown down. We had Tony Nese doing his signature Fosby flop over the top rope, threw him back into the ring, hit the 450. Kanellis was able to kick out. Tony Nese went for the running Nese. Kanellis caught him with the super kick and then the twisting DDT. Mike Kanellis defeats Tony Nese in a very good match. And, to be quite honest with you, I can't really complain too much. I really can't complain that much. After what Mike Kanellis did, you want to give him a cruiserweight title opportunity, go ahead. But it cannot be a singles match against Drew Gulak. Kanellis is a great heel. Gulak is a great heel. They need someone that is an equally great babyface to work with. Arya Daivari was in the back, and he was continuing to get inside the head of Lince Dorado. Arya Daivari was talking to Lince, but Lince kept on cutting him off and saying, I know what you're trying to do. You've been trying to get inside my head. You've been trying to, manipulate me into turning my back on my brothers. But you know what? Tonight, I'm going to beat Humberto Carrillo, and then I'm going to win the Cruiserweight title, and me and my amigos are going to throw the biggest Lucha House party in 205 Live. Akira Tozawa and the Brian Kendrick defeated some jobbers, and then Kendrick actually challenged Jack Gallagher to a tag team match. Next week, Jack Gallagher will pick someone to be his tag team partner, and he will face off against Tozawa and Kendrick. In the back, we actually had an interview segment with Oney Lorcan. Oney Lorcan then stopped the interview because Tony Nese was throwing a fit, and Oney Lorcan was trying to comfort Tony Nese. And Tony's like, yeah, you've been there before? And then he just punches the shit out of him, and he starts beating down Oney Lorcan. This is some good shit right here. The frustration of Tony Nese taking over him after losing the Cruiserweight Championship, after failing to get back in title contention. This right here is going to make Tony Nese a great heel. This shit's great. How simple is that? Simple storytelling has made me more invested in an Oney Lorcan and Tony Nese feud, more so than I am invested in anything that's going on the main roster, outside of King of the Ring. I still have some hope for King of the Ring that it'll turn out okay, but more likely than not it won't. But this was great. And especially after what happened after the main event, you're really, really wondering what's going to happen now. 205 Live gave us a cliffhanger. What is going to happen now? And I'll explain in just a minute. Lince Dorado and Humberto Carrillo put on a great fucking match. I enjoyed every single minute of this. We had nice back and forth. Both of them were trading technical holds, flipping out of them. We had Lince Dorado. Take out Humberto Carrillo. Lince Dorado did a huge big splash off of the top. Humberto was able to fire back, hit a reverse rolling thunder moonsault, and then the slingshot Japanese arm drag. Humberto did the Fosby flop to the outside. Obviously, his Fosby flop is great as well. I think it's either Humberto or it's Ricochet that has the best Fosby flop that I've ever seen. Humberto's Fosby flop it's very fluid because he tucks his hands in and he puts his feet together. He puts his feet together and he lands on his feet so perfectly when he does it. Lince Dorado and Humberto Carrillo, they were trading shots in the ring. They were trading kicks. They were trading punches. Lince Dorado ended up rolling up Humberto Carrillo. Lince Dorado gets the win. Lince Dorado is added to the Cruiserweight Championship matchup at Clash of Champions. It is now a triple threat match between Humberto, Lince, and Gulak. This is going to be really, really good. If you have not seen Lince Dorado in action, you're going to love Lince. If you haven't seen Humberto in action, you're going to love Humberto. I like that both of them are getting an opportunity. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for both of these cruiserweights to shine on a pay-per-view. Drew Gulak then came out and attacked Lince. Humberto was going to help, but Tony Nese out of nowhere came in rolling like a freight train and just barreled right through Humberto Carrillo. And Nese and Gulak stood tall. Nese and Gulak could very well have joined forces. It's very, very interesting. I'm very interested to see how this plays out in the following weeks towards Clash of Champions. Especially after Clash of Champions, too. NXT UK. Rhea Ripley versus Piper Niven. This was a decent match for what it was. Although the entire event as a whole, it really wasn't anything special. It was a 2-match show. It only went 35 minutes. Outside of a decent match between Rhea Ripley and Piper Niven, you could have skipped NXT UK. It really wasn't anything special. It was the show after a takeover, and they're pretty much setting up everything for the following weeks on NXT UK. Next week, we actually got the Grizzled Young Veterans getting a rematch against Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. And we also got Tegan Nox returning to action next week. I can get behind that. But we had a decent match between Rhea Ripley and Piper Niven. Rhea Ripley ended up winning with the Riptide. And I'm guessing that they did this since they want to give Rhea Ripley some momentum going into her feud with Shayna Baszler. And we actually have a match between Shayna and Rhea Ripley next week on NXT US television. That's going to be the final taped NXT episode before the move to USA. And then in the main event, Cassius Ohno defeated Sid Scala. I don't really know where they're going with Cassius Ohno. Like I've said, based on the match between Noam Dar and Travis Banks, and then the last man standing match between Joe Coffey and Dave Mastiff, they need a mid-card title. NXT UK is in need of a mid-card title. It's vital. It really is vital. If you give NXT UK a mid-card title, especially with the overabundance of talent that is in NXT UK right now, it would really benefit the brand, and it would give the guys like Ono, Dar, Banks, Devlin, Ligero, Coffey, Mastiff, it would give them something to do, because Walter, like I've said, Walter's not losing that title anytime soon. Walter is, right now, becoming the new Pete Dunne. He's going to hold that title for at least a year, maybe even longer than that. Walter's not going to lose the title anytime soon, so you need something that these guys can fight over while Walter is dominating the main event scene. Cassius Ohno defeated Sid Scala. I don't really know where they're going with Cassius Ohno. I hope that there's some payoff to Cassius Ohno, because Cassius Ohno is very good at what he does, and Cassius Ohno's been on a winning streak as of lately. Why not? NXT was actually a very, very good episode. Breezango kicked off the show by defeating some jobbers. Breezango's looking great. I am hoping that Breezango could very well be in top contention of taking the NXT Tag Team titles off of the Undisputed Era sometime down the line, but obviously the prophecy of the era needs to come true first. Io Shirai attacked Candice LeRae in the parking lot with a kendo stick, so that's obviously advancing their storyline. This was only like a little 20-second vignette, but it was very, very good. Cameron Grimes cut a promo in the back, stating that his goal is to be a champion, and he kept on saying it over and over and over again. My goal is to be a champion. My goal is to be a champion. So I'm interested to see where they go with Cameron Grimes going into the fall months of 2019. Velveteen Dream got the victory over Kona Reeves, but what is important is what happened after the match. Roderick Strong came up on the television monitor, the big Titantron, and he was outside, and it looked like there was smoke and fire around him. The camera panned out, and it showed the Dream's couch, the Velveteen Dream's signature rolling couch, burning. And Roderick Strong says, "Do I have your attention now?" He burnt the Dream's couch. It's fucking great. That is great. That is how you get people invested in a storyline. You take a staple, you take a prop that defines a superstar, and you have the person that the superstar is feuding with, you have it get destroyed. You have it get destroyed. You have that person play mind games with his opponent to get under the skin of his opponent. And then you have that match. I love what they're doing with Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream. And we actually got Strong and Velveteen Dream on the debut episode of NXT on USA on September 18th. Just like I predicted. That is when Roderick Strong is going to win the North American title. Bianca Belair then defeated Tainara Conti, and we actually got an announcement made in 2 weeks on the debut episode of NXT on USA. Since we're not getting Rhea and Shayna for the title, William Regal announced that we are getting a triple threat match between Io Shirai, Mia Yim, and Bianca Belair. And the winner will become the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship. And next week, Johnny Gargano is also addressing his future. Main event, Adam Cole and Jordan Myles. This match was great. This match went about 14 minutes. Adam Cole made Jordan Myles look like an absolute star. He made him look like a star. Jordan Myles, he's going to be something big. Jordan Myles is going to be something big. Adam Cole and a relatively unknown Jordan Myles. And this is what I love about NXT. NXT gives people opportunities, and they gave Jordan Myles this opportunity, and Jordan Myles shined. Jordan Myles shined. We had Jordan Myles gain some momentum behind him. He hit a huge plancha to the outside. Adam Cole was able to fire back in the ring with a huge punt kick. Jordan Myles was able to hit Adam Cole with a suicide dive. He landed on his feet as well, threw Cole back into the ring, and hit a beautiful frog splash, almost Montez Ford-esque, for a close 2 count. Adam Cole then got the knees up as Jordan Myles went for the 450. Jordan Myles caught a super kick to the chin, caught a super kick to the back of the neck. Adam Cole then hit the last shot and won a great NXT Championship match. Adam Cole is shaping up right now to be perhaps the best NXT champion of all time. From what he's been doing and the consistently good matches that he's been put on, he is slowly working his way up to being the best NXT champion of all time. Up there with Finn Balor, up there with Ciampa, up there with Bobby Roode. He's working his way up. Great match. I see big things in Jordan Myles' future. Adam Cole gets the win. NXT, very, very good. Moving on to the news, rumors, and reports that we got over here. My first report is a report concerning multiple sources, including Sean Ross Sapp, reported that Kylie Rae asked for her release from AEW and was granted it. Sean Ross Sapp tweeted in the early hours of the morning on September 1st, and I quote, "I asked Tony Khan about Kylie Rae's status. He told me she asked for her AEW release, and they granted it. It was amicable, per Tony," end quote. Originally, I heard that it was from depression, but now apparently I'm hearing that it was because of injuries. And apparently I'm hearing that Kylie Rae is completely retiring because of injuries. That sucks. That really does suck. I have been a fan of Kylie Rae for a long, long time. I know how great Kylie Rae is. She was my favorite independent professional wrestler. Kylie Rae just had that aspect, that just pure babyface aspect where you just want to gravitate towards. And I really enjoyed Kylie Rae's work for when she was in the ring. And it sucks because you had this opportunity like AEW. Kylie Rae, more likely than not, could very well have been in the first ever AEW Women's Championship match. But due to injuries, there's no choice but to grant her release so she can focus on other things. But whatever's happening with Kylie Rae, I wish her the best of luck. Nothing but my support. Much love and prayers sent her way. My next report comes from Brad Shepard. Brad Shepard reported that WWE is looking to put a stop to their superstars tweeting about AEW. He stated, and I quote, "A source in WWE reached out to me after AEW All Out to say I should expect tweeting by WWE superstars about AEW shows to end in mid-October. I was bluntly told they'd better enjoy it while it lasts. This obviously doesn't include situations like Peyton Royce / Sean Spears," end quote. Does this surprise me? No, it doesn't. This does not surprise me whatsoever. Why? Pettiness. WWE is just a petty company. Probably the most petty company on the face of this planet. I don't think, and I've said this numerous amounts of times, I'm sounding like a broken record because I say the same fucking thing in every fucking video, in every fucking LFU. I cannot stress how petty WWE is. I don't think I've ever seen a company as petty as WWE. I've been working at Acme Supermarkets for 4 years now. I talk about ShopRite all the time, as well as many of the employees do. In front of my boss as well. Nobody bats an eyelash. I talk about it with the customers. I talk about it with my employees. I talk about it with everyone. in the Acme supermarkets while I'm on the clock. Not just when I'm off the clock and not just when I'm tweeting about it. I haven't really tweeted much about it, but whether I'm on the clock or off the clock, I still work at Acme. I'm an Acme employee, and I'm talking about ShopRite, but no one bats an eyelash. And ShopRite is one of our biggest competitions. ShopRite's one of our biggest competitions. ShopRite actually has a lot of advantages over us. And a lot of the customers make that known in the store. I don't understand what WWE's problem is with their employees tweeting about All Elite Wrestling. You do realize that a lot of these people, more likely than not, are stuck in 5-year deals, right? Just because someone tweets about All Elite Wrestling doesn't mean they're going to drop all their things and head down to Jacksonville to sign a contract for Tony Khan. If this is true, my God, WWE, I really don't know. I really don't know what else I can say about WWE at this rate. The pettiness that WWE has, is just, I don't even have a word for it. I really don't even have a word for it. It's ridiculous, the amount of pettiness that WWE has. It's not only that, it's with the booking decisions as well. I'm telling you, like I said just a mere half hour ago, if The Miz does not walk out of Clash of Champions as Intercontinental Champion, I would be legitimately shocked. And on top of that, I wouldn't even be surprised if The Miz walks out of Clash of Champions, he loses it back to Nakamura, only to win it back from him again 2 weeks later, just to break Jericho's record. Moving on. Kacy Michael of Squared Circle Sirens. He actually has a report on a supposed backstage fight after All Out. Listen to this. Kacy Michael of Squared Circle Sirens reported that there was apparently a backstage confrontation between B. Priestley and Sadie Gibbs. The cause of this confrontation was totally unrevealed. It's completely unrevealed. He stated, and I quote, "Also, Sadie is a real one for swinging on B backstage last night. Put the title on her, please." I don't know what's going on, but apparently there's some tension there. And if I do hear any more ramblings and rumblings about the beef between Gibbs and Priestley, I will be sure to keep you guys posted. I got another report from Squared Circle Sirens. Apparently reports that NXT superstar Kacy Catanzaro has finished her time with WWE. The site says that Catanzaro suffered a back injury and decided to retire as a wrestler. Many of you may not know this, but I actually know Kacy Catanzaro's sister. Shout out to her. I have a feeling she's watching. Her and her husband, they are big fans of my channel. They've been fans of my channel since my days at a Periscope livestream, before there even was a DJ Storms channel. And they've stuck by me. They're one of the originals. So I gotta show my appreciation to them. I gotta show my appreciation to the Catanzaro fam. But I saw a lot of potential in Kacy. I really did. I saw a lot of potential in Kacy. I saw that Kacy was extremely athletic, and she had that underdog babyface-like aspect where people would just want to gravitate towards her. She had a lot of potential to be the next female Johnny Gargano. Although that role right now is with Candice LeRae, Kacy Catanzaro really had a lot of potential, even to be the next Bayley, if they wanted to book her in that manner. She was great at what she does. And, it's a real shame. But regardless, I wish Kacy Catanzaro all the best of luck. I really hope she finds great success. I really hope that her post-wrestling career brings her nothing but good times. I got a report from Tom Colohue of Sports Skita. He reported that WWE might be planning a champion versus champion match at Survivor Series between Sasha Banks and Bayley. He stated that it was a plan in the spring, although he is unaware if the plan is still in with WWE. He stated, and I quote, "Both of them were split up to have singles pushes. I don't know if we'll still see them one-on-one at Survivor Series, but a lot of people still want to make it happen." Now, that could be the case. That could be the case, and they could end up doing Bayley and Sasha at Survivor Series, with Sasha winning the Raw Women's Championship from Becky Lynch at Clash Champions in just a little bit over a week. But based on what's been going on, and again I stated, it has a Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa-like feel. You remember at the beginning of the year, before Tommaso Ciampa went down with injury, Johnny Gargano turned heel, and he was revealed as the attacker for Aleister Black. And they had him play a gimmick where he said that the ends justify the means. He wanted to get to Tommaso Ciampa, and he wanted to get to Tommaso Ciampa so bad that he took out Aleister Black. He was living in his own delusions. And then Tommaso Ciampa offered Johnny Gargano a position to tag with him and potentially win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and win the NXT Tag Team titles. But then Tommaso Ciampa, he was about to turn on Gargano again, but Gargano faked a knee injury. He suckered Ciampa in, and he beat Ciampa at his own game. And he took out Tommaso Ciampa, and we were supposed to get the ending of that story. We were supposed to get Gargano and Ciampa one last time for the NXT Championship at TakeOver New York. And that would have been it. That would have been the end to the story. We didn't get that, unfortunately. But I feel as though WWE has the potential to repeat that with Sasha Banks and Bayley. They have the potential to repeat it by having Bayley be in this Johnny Gargano-like position and almost manipulate Sasha Banks. Just kind of appeal to Sasha Banks' good side. And when things are at its lowest, Sasha Banks is going to start treating Bayley like shit. Bayley's going to remain loyal. But when the time's right, Bayley's going to turn on Sasha Banks. She's going to turn face, and we're going to have a moment like what happened with Gargano and Ciampa earlier this year, before Ciampa went down with injury. We're going to have something similar to what happened with Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan back in Providence, Rhode Island during the Road to the Royal Rumble. The Road to the Royal Rumble, and Bryan was a part of the Wyatt family. He had Bray Wyatt alone in the cage, and he took off the Wyatt family suit and just started beating the shit out of Bray Wyatt. The crowd went fucking crazy. I remember when he was doing the yes, everyone in unison was doing yes with him, and in the intermission breaks between each yes, you could hear a fucking pin drop. I remember watching it, and they showed a camera overview of the arena, and you could literally see everyone in unison doing yes. That's what I feel as though they're going with Sasha Banks and Bayley. They're going to build up Sasha Banks to a point where she is just such a bitch, and Bayley is being manipulated by Sasha Banks, or so we think, and Bayley's going to turn on Sasha Banks. Bayley's going to win the Royal Rumble, and Bayley and Sasha are going to fight at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. I feel as though that's where they're going. Right now, I heard that apparently Sasha wanted Bayley on the same brand as her. You could very well end up seeing the matchup. You never know. We could very well end up seeing the matchup. But, you know, it could happen at Survivor Series. We're just going to have to wait and see how it plays out. My last report, Dave Meltzer recently reported that NXT is apparently going to become more scripted when the show goes to USA, while Raw is attempting to move away from heavily scripted promos. Oh, of course, Raw and SmackDown, they're moving away from heavily scripted promos because of AEW, but no, not NXT. But apparently, I'm actually a little bit more lenient with NXT. Only because Triple H is still running it. If Triple H is going to still run it, then I know that Triple H is going to script promos and he's going to script storylines to a point where it's pretty much the same thing as we're getting right now with NXT. I have full confidence in Triple H that he is going to do whatever he can to keep NXT special, to keep NXT interesting, and to keep NXT exciting. But, you can move away from heavy scripts all you want with Raw and SmackDown. If the shows don't have legitimate storylines and a sports-driven aspect, then you're really not getting anywhere. I'm sorry, Vince, but you're really not getting anywhere. Anyway, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Do me a favor. Follow me on Instagram at TheDJStorms. Follow me on Twitter at ManOfCharisma. I want you guys to hit that subscribe button. We are over 1,400 subscribers, and we're on the road to 1,500 subscribers. So let's get there as fast as we possibly can. I also want you guys to leave a comment down below. What are your thoughts on the weekly shows and the news, rumors, and reports this week? I want you guys to give me that thumbs up, as we are just... I was getting all confused there for a minute. But I would like to get this video to 15 likes, as per usual. And I also want you guys to hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube, because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. I also want you guys to go down to the description. Go down to the description, and I want you guys to take a look at, if you haven't already done so, watch the rewind for NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff, and watch the rewind for AEW All Out. They will both be in the description. Next week, I will hopefully have the rundown for Clash of Champions up for you guys probably on Saturday. Probably next Saturday, I will have the rundown for Clash of Champions up for you guys. I'll try and do a rundown for Full Gear as well. That's going to be in November. I'll try and have the Lightning Flash update as well. We're going to see how my college work interferes with that. I will keep you guys posted on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash update, and I hope you guys have an awesome weekend.